Hey guys, Mathil here once again, and yes, of course, I did reprise my role as Zana. Since she's back, a lot of people kept asking for Zana, and yep, you did this. This is all your fault. Nothing to do with me. I don't enjoy this. Doing it straight for the cash. It is what it is. But enough of that. The main reason for this video, it's going to be pretty quick I think, is to talk about the Mercenaries and the new league. These Mercenaries are fucking cracked. It's actually far better and far stronger of a system than I actually would have anticipated. Right from the get-go, the very first wench that I fought was just destroying me. Once I managed to actually get through that fight, things kind of turned in our favor, but it is pretty surprising what the very first fight can be like, and it can be pretty sketchy. As soon as we got Becky version 1 on our team though, holy fuck did she take some names. So this first mercenary that I picked up had some split arrow and chain attached to it. Basically, you know, just some very basic gear, but then I picked up some Ondar's gloves that have attack speed and a bit of lightning damage as well, and essentially I became the mercenary. Absolutely no meme involved. I was just doing nothing off of one item on my mercenary, and Becky was just destroying everything. It was actually pretty hilarious and just a nice novel surprise how strong these mercenaries can be, and the ranged one in particular definitely seems like it's one of the more proactive ones to get on your team, because she's just gonna start attacking even off screen and have some pretty good damage and clear, and yeah, overall they just do quite a bit more damage for their power level than I would have anticipated. They do of course start to die every now and again, especially against content that outscales them, because once you get them at, let's say, level 4, they stay level 4 the entire time. They don't level up with you. You have to get new ones. You have to try new mercenaries. I did my best to try pretty much every mercenary sort of type that I could get. This trapping dude is kind of a meme. Maybe he does some good single target later on, but he struggles to keep up with your playstyle, so not really sure what the fuck he's supposed to be doing most of the time. But you do definitely gear them up and make them slightly more powerful as you go. Eventually, you try out more, and that was when we got Becky version 2. And this one is one with some cold arrow stuff and one of the Hydra attacks. The Hydra range projectile attack looks impressive, but it does not do very much, I don't think. Overall, this one was okay. It does some freezing. It does some good sort of, I don't know, kind of range damage, but it's still not really quite as good as the split arrow Becky. So then basically got into Flameblast Totems, so a little bit about that. I have been doing Flameblast Totems ever since doing Lab, and then we had 3 totems, and I have not been using the new Flameblast. I've just been using original Flameblast, not Celerity version, and it's been pretty good, because it is a bit slower. It does take longer to wind up to 10 stacks. That meant I had to try and get a bit more cast speed to compensate for that, but the fact that we have mercenaries really kind of smoothens that out, because a lot of the time the mercenaries are killing stuff before my Flameblast even has a chance to go off, at least while I'm clearing zones and stuff. So it's been really good just being Flameblast by itself, but then enter Becky 3. This is potentially what we may now refer to as Becky Prime. It is the kinetic blast version of the mercenary, and this thing fucks some ass. So this kinetic blast seems to be very proactive, as I said. It kind of just attacks very far ahead of you and is very strong. It's similar to the way a kinetic blast might work on a player, where it has super good clear when things are kind of packed up and things are against walls and stuff. And yeah, a lot of the time you could see that I was doing fuck all, and this Merc with the extra bit of gear that we put on, pretty much still just the Ondars, tried to give her some flat elemental damage, was clearing things from level 30 when I got her all the way up to level 60. I didn't replace her for about 30 levels, and I still haven't really replaced her. I was just trying other mercenaries, and it was pretty damn good, because I also had a haste aura from her. I got lucky with that. For the most part, the Mercs were pretty comfortable to fight and engage with, and I very much had my guard let down on every single one, up until I came across this chick. So that's Vile Flameblast, and from what I can gather, from what I've heard from other people and from some of the rip clips I've seen, the Vile skills do some serious damage. So you got to be careful for those. There's been some good hardcore deaths out there already. It's mostly the Vile skills, but then some other skills can definitely do some big damage as well. This is the next most powerful Merc I ended up facing, and the Frost Bomb on this one, I believe, is what does some pretty big damage. But aside from that, she can do some big freezing and stuff, and it's a pretty dangerous fight. So it's been pretty interesting. The kind of dynamic state of the campaign is kind of back again, where you don't really know what's going to happen, and that was there for a while when we were kind of a bit newer and when league mechanics were a bit more of an X factor, and this one has definitely been a lot of fun to go through the campaign. As I said, it's a very dynamic playstyle right now. You try different mercs, you fight different mercs, they change up your playstyle, they change up what you're going to see on the screen, and then the fights themselves can be pretty interesting too. So it's been quite a lot of fun doing the merc thing, and I do highly encourage you to fuck around with the merc system. There's a lot to explore there. The starters that I've picked have been all pretty good from what I've heard. Elementalist is going off really well. Just in general, Elementalist with new golems is crazy. Flameblast Totems is popping off even without the new Flameblast. And then Cyclone, Shockwave, Frozen Legion, heard pretty good reviews there too. Can't go wrong. But overall, the real star of the show at the moment is Mercenaries. I'm still just now finishing campaign, and the Mercenaries are holding up quite well. I can imagine and see a world in which we are finding the best type of Mercenary. We are gearing them up well. They're at our appropriate level. We're giving them some buffs with our auras and stuff, and they are a big part of our team. So it's quite a bit better than I was anticipating for the Mercenary system. I thought it'd be maybe a bit lackluster to begin with. They weren't going to keep up with their damage too much, or they were going to die too often. But for the most part, mine have not been dying too much as long as I'm killing stuff. If they're ranged, if you're giving them gear, and then they're actually doing substantially more damage than I would expect them to, at least for clear, and they're a big part of your overall gameplay while just faffing about getting some, zones cleared. Not sure what they're going to do for bosses in single target, but there are some pretty interesting ones that give solid buffs like Fortify and Endurance charges and multiple auras. So if you can keep them alive with larger boss fights, then maybe they'll factor in there as well. On top of that, they can give some crazy rewards. People have reported multiple divines in their rucksack, so whenever you try and take their loot, you will get everything from their rucksack. Some people have had 2 or 3 divines dropping. Someone posted on Reddit that they had 2 Hinakora's locks, which is pretty insane, and that does kind of mean that most likely it's similar to the Expedition and Betrayal system, where eventually someone's going to get a couple of mirrors in their Merc's rucksack. So good things so far on first day. There's been some server issues, there's been some crashing stuff, but for the most part, the game's in a pretty good state, and some of those issues got solved, so we're looking pretty good from here on out. I'm excited for the future of my character, for the future of the Mercenaries, and I think the new skills are all looking pretty damn enticing. So when we get to our next character, I think that's going to be a lot of fun as well. Overall, it really feels like PoE 1 is pretty back in a big way, and there's a lot of fun to be had out there. So with that, Xanathil logging off. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck to you with your mercs and your gear, currency, everything drops, and I'll see you guys next time.